Hello everyone. I'm going to discuss about component testing with Playwright. Before we go into topic, let me introduce myself. I'm Sandeep Kapalawai from India, working for Musk as a software engineer. I majorly worked into React and Vue-based applications, also an open source contributor for Mozilla. And I would like to present my talks at various conferences and platforms based on my learning experience. Now let's go into the topic for today. So the agenda for today we have is we'll start with the test runners and introduction to Playwright and also component testing with Playwright, how it gonna work, and hooks that we get from the component testing, and lastly we're gonna discuss about migrate your React or Vue test to Playwright. So, so the test runners that we have is basically that we know is it's a tool that is used to run or execute and export the results. Basically, it is a library that selects the source code or the directory and picks the test files to run them for verifying bugs and errors. The test runners also ensures to test the file and lets you know if the test files are executing properly if according to the program that we have done as per the benchmark standards. So now the Playwright, basically, let's talk about powerful test runners. When we say the powerful test runners, basically they built on Node.js, and then we have like our components are using JS DOM. So we got them capable of testing test runners, which gives the file system access and it gives parallelization. But when it comes to the browsers, we got like fake browsers, right? Because we are in a JS DOM, so we got a kind of fake and a CSS layout, no screenshot testing, and no embedded clips. So, right, that's the way the test runners are built, which is on the powerful test runners. Now let's talk about the lightweight test runners, which you know that you have got your components are in the browser. So this is a perfect that the runners in the browser, but you have got like no file system access and no parallelization, but you do have a real CSS and layout and you do have a screenshot testing, but again you have got those emulated flexes, right? So not so perfect. What players each do is like the it gonna combine the powerful test runners and as well as the lightweight test runners. So here you have a file system access parallelization. When you talk about browsers, you have a real click users, CSS layout, and screenshot testing. So Playwright, what does is like gonna bring both them together, right? And we do have everything. So that is why the Playwright has a powerful test runners. Talking more about the Playwright, it is built by Microsoft and it's a Node.js library with a single API. And it automates Chromium, Firefox, WebKit. You have got all these three browsers, and these APIs can be used by developers writing JavaScript code to create new browser pages, navigate to URLs, and then interact with the element. In addition, Microsoft Edge is built on the open source Chromium platform. Playwright can also automate Microsoft Edge, which is a great thing. And Playwright has also got a component testing, which is a new experimental feature, which component that we can gonna discuss in the next slide. So the component testing that we got from the Playwright support for React, Vue, Solid, and Svelte. To discuss more about component testing, it's a type of testing where these components can be tested in isolation independently without integrating them with other parts. So the excellent way of testing your components is like it renders the components in a VDOM, virtual DOM, JS DOM, and lets run you some of the test against them so that you can test your components in an isolation mode. So for those who are familiar with Jest, it offers an excellent way of testing your component. It renders the components in a virtual DOM. This is pretty cool, right? But If you are unable to mount those components in a real browser and interact with them as you do with any internet test, but you might be asking why I need using Playwright for component testing. It provides a true isolation mode and it comes with a mounting and mocking model. It's reliable and allows to do unit test components without end-to-end and actual browser or the server. This can be combined with the Playwright's WebDriver capabilities for the end-to-end, which provides complete spectrum coverage. So this offering can usually increase productivity and efficiency. With Playwright, you can easily target React component to test modular UIs, not just React. It can do Vue or Solid.js. Playwright also ensures that the test reliability and speed are taken care while the developers can focus on building rather than debugging. This helps creating test strategy unified across different levels achievable. So to get started with the Playwright, if you have a repo which is yet to create, or if you have the repo which is on the React or Vue, you can initiate the Playwright using this command. So Playwright, what it is known as like with npm init Playwright at the latest, which is basically latest version hyphen ctct is bent out for component testing. So when you do this command, you get Playwright prompt where you can test where you can create your framework as per the library that you're using. So it supports React 18, 17, Vue3, Vue2, Svelte, Solid that we have discussed. And you can also write your tests in TypeScript or JS depending. So once you execute these steps, you'll able to see the Playwright created in this way, which is like you have a node modules. Playwright has got two of the files. One is index.html, index.ts, and followed by package.js and package.json config. So that we are going to discuss in the next slides. So the index.html that you have seen in the previous slide is basically this one. So it is going to render all your components that gets executed will be rendered in this index.html in the browser. So your test or your component test will execute at the line number 10. So to understand more about behind the scenes, what is going to happen is like when the Playwright has using Wheat, which is a build tail. When the tests are executed behind the scenes, Playwright creates a bundle with the components needed for the test, and it serves them using static web server. The components get generated in index.html by the using the mount method component command, and mounting means the component will be added to the DOM, and when the component is just created, it is nothing else, just the plain JavaScript, a virtual representation of the component. Mounting turns the virtual into real and final representation of the component in the DOM. Let's see in the pictorial representation. So this is how. So component 1 and component 2 we have, and it compiles and it generates index.html and bundle.js for the. So you have these two files, and once the static server is getting triggered, so in the like 3001 or depending upon your configuration, so you get your test executed like this way. So I'm going to discuss about the basic component testing your component. So like this is how you have an import statement, test and expect Playwright gives. So Playwright slash experimental cd react is a that is way how we need to import. So so test.use uses viewport is meant to have run your test in a browser mode. So you can set your viewport in the browser, and now talking about the basic test that we're talking. So Playwright has a mount property, so where you can mount your applications or mount your component. Yeah. So using async and await, you can mount your component with the component name, and then you can expect. Then you can write your assertions. So in the last line that we're going to say is like it is going to expect a component to contain a text. So, yeah. Similarly, you can write your component based on the assumptions that you have, and you can write your assumption Once you write, you can execute your test uh, in the browser specific if you want. Otherwise, Playwright takes three. It runs an execution in the three browsers. So line number three, which is you can see npm run tests IP. So like I'm running a test for a specific component. So once you execute that, it will give you the information in the command line. And if you want to see more about information, you can it generates an HTML report where you can execute with npm x playwright show report. So the config that we are going to talk about is like the config it gets generated by default if you want to have configuration. So you at times you might need to turn off the headless mode and at times in the CI/CD pipeline. So you can use this command headless mode. And you can line number 34, which you can talk about is like configuring the browsers that we run. Your Playwright provides Chromium, Firefox, Safari, and you can also turn on the trace on, which is meant for debugging that we can discuss further. And you can also configure your port like mode, and you can also configure your timeout for each test. So the trace viewer, which I have spoke in the previous slide, is like it's a way to debug your test when they fail on the CI, and you can open the. So this is the sample picture how you can able to trace your test. So if the component is get triggered, test is getting triggered, all the steps have been recorded, and there from there you can able to debug very easily. And also you can mock your API responses. So yeah, so the one that you're going to see is like it's a API test which is looking for fulfillment of API and with a body. So we are waiting for a route, and then route.fulfill is like it's an expectation argument, and the line number 44 you are expecting a such component to contain a text with a text. So that is how you can easily mock your APIs. And the Playwright also got its you hooks you can use before mount and after mount hooks to configure your app. This lets you to set up your things like an app route or fake server, giving you flexibility you need. You can also pass custom configuration from the mount call from a test, which is accessible from the hooks config feature. This includes any config that needs to be run before or after the component. An example of configuring a router is like provided like this. So you can in the before mode you can configure hooks. If the hooks.configure.enable, then you can return the browser. That's how we use hooks here in the component. And talking about migrating from a testing library or any of the library which you are using. So these are going to be different from Playwright to the existing. So the example that I'm provided is let's React. In the React, we have a if you are using a React testing library, you deal with the screen, but here in the Playwright, it is like through page and component. Likewise, you import everything from Playwright CD, either React or Vue as well. So component tester from Playwright end-to-end test function is giving a page that is isolated from the test and mount that renders the component in this. These are the two useful fixtures in Playwright. Replace render with the mount that returns the component later locator using locators created with locator.locator function and page.locator function to perform the most of the actions. And also you can use other actions to verify the state, which is generally going to be same uh, whatever the library that you have been used. Lastly, to discuss more about the component features, it allows teams to build robust, reliable software at a scale with the speed and shift left testing and validation of the unit test components helps you to create stable system, and it provides a robust tool set to create sustainable, and it acts as a common thread to allow existence. And you can also use your code gen. It's a platform. It's a tool which is released by uh, Playwright. You do not need to worry about the selectors or locators. Using code gen, you can write your using your emulator clicks, it will write the code. So that is one of the major advantages. And handling the component test with an events, and you will also have a VS Code extension for debugging data tracing. That's all the benefits and we have. And lastly, thank you for your time. And I would like to encourage to go through furthermore about documents or the social URLs which the Playwright. You can get the info here. You can also reach out to me, the social handles which I mentioned below, for any queries and questions. That's it. Thank you for your tomorrow.